If this message reaches you again, it's not by accident, because part 1 wasn't meant to convince you of anything. It was meant to soften something inside you, and now we go deeper. Most people never rejected Jesus. They rejected the version of him that never felt true. A version wrapped in fear, guilt, and impossible expectations. But Jesus himself never spoke that way. He spoke quietly. He spoke inwardly. He spoke to the part of you that already knows. Jesus wasn't trying to get you to worship him. He was trying to get you to see what he saw. That's why he said things that sounded shocking. The kingdom of God is within you, not near you, not after death. Within you. That statement alone dismantles centuries of misunderstanding. Jesus was pointing inward, while religion kept pointing outward to buildings, outward to authority, outward to rules. But Jesus kept returning to the heart, to awareness, to being present, to seeing clearly. That's why he often withdrew into silence, not to escape people, but to return to truth. Silence wasn't absence. Silence was alignment. And Jesus knew something most people still haven't learned. When the mind becomes quiet, truth reveals itself. Think about how often Jesus asked questions instead of giving answers. Who do you say that I am? Not because he needed validation, but because he wanted people to look within themselves. Truth discovered internally transforms. Truth imposed externally does not. Jesus didn't shame people into change. He awakened them into it. When he met the woman caught in adultery, he didn't lecture her. He didn't condemn her. He created stillness. And in that stillness, everyone saw themselves more clearly. That's the power Jesus carried, not control, but clarity. When Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," he wasn't declaring exclusivity the way institutions later taught it. He was describing a state of being, a way of living, a way of seeing reality without distortion. The I am wasn't ego. It was divine awareness expressed through a human life. That's why Jesus said, "The works I do, you shall do also, and even greater." That sentence alone tells you everything. He wasn't separating himself from humanity. He was revealing humanity's potential. Most people live identified with the mind, with thought, with memory, with fear. Jesus lived from presence, from stillness, from unity with God, and he was showing what life looks like when fear no longer leads. That's why storms calmed around him, not because he controlled nature, but because inner chaos was absent. When there is no resistance inside, life reflects that harmony outwardly. Jesus understood suffering, but he didn't glorify it. He understood pain, but he didn't worship it. He understood death, but he didn't fear it, because he knew something eternal was already alive within him. The cross was not about punishment. It was about surrender. Surrender of ego, surrender of fear, surrender of the false self. "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." That wasn't defeat. That was release. And then came the resurrection, not just as an event, but as a message. Life does not end. Truth does not die. Consciousness continues. What awakens cannot be destroyed. This is why Jesus spoke so often about being born again, not physically, not religiously, but inwardly. A rebirth of awareness. A shift from identification with the mind to alignment with the divine. You don't follow Jesus by copying his actions. You follow Jesus by embodying his consciousness, by choosing love where fear once lived, by choosing forgiveness where resentment once ruled, by choosing presence where anxiety once dominated. And here is the part few talk about. Jesus didn't save the world by force. He saved it by example. He showed what a human life looks like when God is no longer distant. That's why his message still unsettles people, because it removes excuses. It reveals that peace is possible now, that freedom is available now, that the kingdom is not waiting for you after death, it's waiting for your awareness. If something inside you feels quieter right now, that's not emotion. That's recognition. Truth doesn't shout. It resonates. Jesus is not asking you to believe harder. He is asking you to see clearly, to return to what is already present, to stop searching outward for what has always been within. And if this message feels different, deeper, calmer, more real, then you are ready for the next step. Not another belief, not another label, but a way of living from truth. If this helped you understand Jesus beyond religion, subscribe for Part 3, where we explore why the mind resists this truth and how to live it in daily life. Share this with someone who feels spiritually tired but still searching. And remember this, you were never separate. You were only distracted.